Fab. And just let me know when, give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Perfect. Okay, great. Yeah, so welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining. And I guess I'll start with a massive congratulations to everybody who was shortlisted for this year's awards. I'm sure the judges who are on with me on the call today can agree it was an incredibly hard selection this year. I know there was a lot of debate. It took us a long time to go through everything. We had a record number of applications this year. We had 50% more nominations this year than we did last year. So yeah, it was a fantastic selection. Great number of applications from some really fantastic brands across the region. So yeah, you fought up some tough competition to get where you are. So the purpose of today's workshop, today's webinar is just to give you a bit of an insight into what the next steps are, how that'll work, a chance to hear from our judges on what their top tips are and what they want to see from you, and just some advice from them on the next stage. And then we'll have a Q&A at the end as well, just to give everybody a chance to ask any questions if you haven't already been answered in the session. So I'll start by introducing the judges we have on the call today. So we have Christine Allenson, who's our head judge for NECCA this year. I'm sure some of you will know her. We've got Julie Mordew, who's head of marketing for Greenbean. We've got Chris Rainsforth, who is director from the forum. We've got, I don't think if Neil's on here, I don't think he is. He might be joining us. If he is, we've got Neil Akin-Close, who is director of operations at FairSource. We've got Nicola Hall, who is director of customer success at Arctic Fox. Sorry, Arctic. I always say Arctic Fox. I'm sorry, Nicola. Arctic Wolf. And we've also got Nick Simpson from Student Loans Company as well. So yeah, massive thank you for your time today, judges, and looking forward to hearing what you've got to say. So yeah, just as I said before, if everyone can keep themselves on mute, feel free to change your name to your first name and your organisation, just so we know who's joining us on the call today. And we have got the Q&A session at the end, but like I say, if you've got any burning questions, feel free to pop them in the chat or pop your hand up as we're going through. If you've got any questions, just let us know and we'll hopefully get to answering those. Just in terms of next steps after the interviews, Christine's going to go through the process in a moment, but we have got the Gala Awards dinner, so that's the 11th of November. I'm starting to reach out to all of the shortlisted companies about how you can get your tables booked, and how you can book your tickets for that dinner, and a bit more information about that. So you'll be getting information about that this week. For those that joined us last year, it was fantastic to have everybody there for the first time in a couple of years of getting everyone back together. So we're hoping this year is going to be even bigger and better. And if you didn't already know, it is a Friday this year, so that's always good. So hopefully not too many sore heads on the Saturday. But yeah, I'll pass over to Christine, who is going to take us through the judging process and a little bit more about what you can expect in the timeline. So Christine, over to you.
Thanks, Bryony. Morning, everybody. And, you know, just to reiterate what Bryony has said, congratulations to you all for reaching this stage. It is an achievement because, as Bryony said, we received a record number of entries this year, and we had quite a tough decision to make when we were sat around the table debating the entry. So the purpose of this one is to go through the next steps for you. Now, when we wrote this slide, the judging was supposed to start on Monday, the 19th of September. Obviously, that won't be happening now. And there was some taking place on the Tuesday, but we've delayed that. Our first day judging will be the Wednesday of that week, and we go right through until the 28th of October. Not all organisations are fully back in the office. We are remaining virtually for this year. That was another decision that we toyed with, but we are staying virtual this year, although the judges will be together so that they can discuss what they are seeing when you're presenting to them. So this year we've got a couple of extra awards. We've got 10 individual awards, 5 team ones and 4 organisation ones. And as we said, we've got a record number of entries, so the competition is strong. So what we really wanted to do today was just give you some hints and tips and make sure you're all clear about the next steps. So looking first at the individual awards. So with the exception of the inspirational lead, so there's 10 individual ones, 9 of them are a 40-minute interview that will be with a lead judge and a support judge, and they will all be conducted virtually. And Bryony will be sending out the dates and times of those interviews if you're in an individual category. The inspirational leader one is longer. This is a 75-minute interview, again with a lead judge and a support judge. And the 75 minutes is made up, as you can see on the screen there. You've got 15 minutes for you to do whatever you like to bring that culture to life. A 40-minute interview with yourself, 10 minutes with some of your team members, and 10 minutes with your line manager. Moving on to the team awards. So these are all happening on the same day, which this year is the 27th of September. And this is a 20-minute presentation followed by a 20-minute Q&A with a panel of judges, and there will be between 2 and 4. And the only thing you are presenting on is why you should win the particular category that you've been shortlisted for. But obviously we're looking for you to cover off the criteria that's listed on the website. So make sure that you refer back to the criteria when you're thinking about what your presentation should look like. And for those ones, as many people as you like can join the presentation to bring it to life. The only thing we ask is that everybody that's on there has an active role in the presentation. So moving on to the next slide, Bryony. So people-centric organisation, which is a new organisational category this year. This one will be a 75-minute virtual site visit with a lead judge and a support judge. So you've got a total of 75 minutes to showcase your organisation to the judges and bring to life all of the people-centric initiatives and convince us why you should win that particular category. You should share your story with us, but we are looking for the key aspects. And again, this is in the criteria on the website. So there's 4 key parts we're looking for in this one. What have you done around employee engagement and development, equality and diversity, health and well-being, and flexible home working? And again, with that one, you've got full creative license on how you want to use the 75 minutes. What we do ask is that you send us a timetable by Friday on what that 75 minutes will look like so that we know what to expect on the day. And then the final 3 categories are the 3 organisational ones, which is the contact centre of the year. So this is for the outsourced contact centre, the under 250 seats and the over 250 seats. And these are a 2-hour virtual site visit. Again, there will be a lead judge and a support judge. And again, you have got 2 hours to showcase your organisation to the judges and bring to life the culture. You need to share the story, but you need to include details of what you've done, how you've done it, and more importantly, the impact on your customers, your colleagues, your company, and the community, because as contact centre of the year, there's an element in there of what you've done for the community that you're part of. You should take the judges on a tour of your centre and invite members of your team, from advisors to leaders, to talk to the judges. But it is entirely up to you who you invite onto that call, how you do it, and what you do with that 2 hours. Again, the only request is you send us a timetable by Friday. So for those of you that are in the contact centre categories, you need to be preparing those timetables to get into Bryony by Friday, ready for the judging starting next week. So that's the judging format. That's so you know what to expect depending upon which category you've been shortlisted in. We're now going to pass over to some of our panel of judges just to go through some hints and tips about what we're looking for when we are going through that judging process. So Nicola, over to you.
Thanks, Christine. Morning, everyone. Congratulations from me as well. There's lots of familiar names and faces, which is great to see. So we've been asked to share some of our thoughts and tips, and I've been in your position. So, you know, what I would say is try and enjoy the experience, which sometimes sounds like a ridiculous thing to say, but getting shortlisted in this is something you should be really proud of and shouting about. So come along and enjoy it. And, you know, you've already crossed the first step. We're really impressed with you and what you've achieved, and that's why you're here. So you know, we want to know you and what you do, and not just what you do for a job. What makes you different? So how are you going to stand out from the other people in your category? And what, you know, we know you're great at your job, so don't be shy. Come and tell us all of the things you're really proud of. And on the other hand, don't be afraid to talk about challenges when it hasn't gone well, because we know not everything goes to plan all of the time, but it's about what you do, how you act, and what you learn in those situations that really makes a difference and stands out. And as I said, none of us are here to catch you out. It's not a, you know, there's not questions there to catch you out on anything at all. We just want you to come and tell us why you should win your category. So please relax as much as you can. And I'm really looking forward to seeing some of you when we do the judging. And I'll hand you over to Chris to share his tips.
Yeah, hi everyone. Again, same as everybody, congratulations. It's great that you've first made the effort to kind of nominate, and you've had that recognition from your organisations to say we're doing something that we can be proud of. And this is your opportunity now to tell us why you're proud as an individual, as a team, as an organisation. My first tip is always be yourself. Don't try and put on a kind of different persona in this situation. We want to know the person, the people, the team, the organisation behind the nomination. We want to get to know you as individuals and teams. Be really clear on your story. Start off as if we don't know anything in that sense. In that regard, we want to understand from start to finish what you've done. Be open and honest around the achievements. Like Nicola said, if it's not gone well, let us know where you might have had a couple of hiccups along the way. We like that authenticity around what you're trying to do. And let us know where you got to, how you got there, and just be really open about that story. The story is what will engage us. The story is what us want to be more inquisitive and want us to ask more questions. So the more you open up in that story, the more we will kind of dig into that to try and understand kind of how you got to where you are. One thing that I always find when I'm judging anything is that people are naturally shy. There's not many people that like to go out there and kind of stand on the rooftops and shout about how good they are. But if you don't tell us, we don't know. We don't know what we don't know as judges. So we need you to tell us, you know, why you're the best in your particular category in this great region. We want to know why you're awesome, essentially, how awesome you are as a business, you are as an individual, or how awesome the team is. Again, it's your opportunity to really kind of put that marker down to say, this is why we're great. And the same as Nicola, just try and relax and enjoy it. We will not do anything that's overly difficult. We are naturally inquisitive people. That's why we're judging stuff. We want to learn about the things that you're doing. We want to understand some of the best practices that you guys are delivering. And it's our role to champion you. When we get to that final decision making, as judges, we need to champion who we think we should be awarded those top prizes. So we're not trying to try and catch you out. We're not going to do anything that's going to make you uneasy. Relax. We will be inquisitive. We'll ask the questions, but just enjoy it as much as you can, and really just be open and tell us why you're so great.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Neil has just sent his apologies. Unfortunately, something's come up, so he's not been able to join. So I will just whiz through his slides for him. But it is sort of similar stuff to kind of, it's echoing what the judges have already said. So they really want to see, you know, your enthusiasm, why you've been nominated and why you deserve to win. So it's just a chance to really enjoy the experience. I know some people have already been in this experience before, but there's a lot of new faces. A lot of new people have been nominated this year and shortlisted. So for some of you, it will be a first time being shortlisted for an award like this. So obviously you'll be nervous, but really do just enjoy it. As the judges have said, you know, it's such an achievement to get to this point already. So, you know, really do take time to shout about who you are and how good you are. And, you know, it's not boasting, it's just being honest. You know, you've been nominated for a reason, so embrace that. And standing out and being memorable. Obviously, you know, there is a small shortlist, but the judges are seeing a number of people. So what makes you stand out? What makes you different? And, you know, they really want to see your individuality in that respect. They're, you know, not trying to see something that they've seen before. So really think about kind of what makes you stand out and what you can shout about to make you memorable in this process for the judges. Enjoy it, but also really, really own it for yourself. So obviously, you know, you can, as Christine says, you've got creative license to do how you want to use your time for these shortlists. But, you know, presentations are great, but it's you we want to hear from. So don't rely on just reeling off information from a slide. Really try and bring it to life, whether that's engaging with the people in your team or getting quotes from within your company or quotes from customers potentially. You know, really try and do something that's a bit different and don't just rely on a bog standard presentation. And then, you know, as they've all said before, you know, they're not going to interrogate you, that they won't bite. They are just here to find the best of the best. I know when we had the shortlist meeting a couple of weeks ago, the excitement in the room was just, you could feel it. The judges are so excited to see the caliber of people that have been shortlisted this year. So they want the same thing as you. They want a winner, and they're really excited to find that winner in each category. So, you know, I'm sure they'll ask some tough questions, but just embrace it. You know, they're not there to catch you out, and they want you to do well. So just remember that, you know, the contact center community is such a tight-knit community and an incredibly supportive one. So everyone wants to see you do well. There's no one here trying to make you look bad or catch you out. So yeah, that's kind of just some of the sort of quick top tips from the judges. But we thought what would be best is, rather than just hearing from us talk at you, is a kind of chance to, I'm sure there's lots of questions people have. Either feel free to pop it in the chat and we can address those one by one, or if you want to come off mute, put your hand up and speak directly with the judges, and we can just try and answer any questions you've got, whether that's about the process, the awards night, or anything in between. Now is your chance to ask away. I think there's one in the chat currently. Oh, it's just Rachel saying hello. Hi, Rachel. But now is not your chance to be shy, because we've got all the judges here in one spot, and they're a tough bunch to get together at once. So,
Bryony, while people are thinking of the questions, if you like, I just a couple of things have resonated from everybody's comments there, and you know, about the questions, I would just like to reassure you that the questions are not, that we ask in your Q&A section, are not preset. You inspire us through the content that you share with us to ask some of the questions, and that you get us intrigued in that respect. And please, one of the things I think really needs to stand out is the so what. So when you're preparing your presentation and you know, you're getting ready to kind of display that to us and share that with us, make sure that you ask yourself the so what. So what does this mean? What was the impact? I think Christine made that really clear. That's often the pieces that we want to know more about, and where your questions will come from that we ask you as well. And I know it's difficult, but do enjoy yourself. Give yourself an opportunity to bring your culture to life. And if it goes wrong on the day, as in technology, because it does sometimes go wrong, I've just got to reassure you, some of the best presentations and moments have been where technology hasn't worked. And it's, you know, we know that from working in a virtual environment ourselves, things don't always go to plan, but please take a deep breath, relax, and just keep on going. You'll do sterlingly well. But that's my advice of the last few years.
Perfect, thanks, Nicola. Beverly, I think you were about to speak there, so go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to talk over you, Nicola. I was just going to ask it's Beverly from Ocado, hi. I was just going to ask what stages the night has, you know, if you've been nominated, are you automatically invited, and then what framework does the night take? Besides the interview, because I always look ahead. I was like I've already, you know, there.
No, definitely, yeah. You want to plan the night 100%. So yeah, so everyone who has been shortlisted is invited to come. And like I say, we're going to be reaching out in first instance to all of the companies who have been shortlisted and giving them an opportunity to buy tables first. So once they've had a chance to buy tables, so that their colleagues can come, and obviously everyone that's shortlisted, then we'll kind of go out to other contact centres, and we have our sponsors coming as well. So all companies will get first dibs if they've been shortlisted to get at least one table. It's a table of 10, and the way the night works is we've got a drinks reception at the start of the night, so just a chance for you to relax, come, have some bubbly, have some beer, and a bit of a network, a bit of a catch up with people. I'm sure there's lots of people you'll want to have a catch up with. We'll have some entertainment as well. And then the way it worked last year, and I think we're going to do it again this year, is we'll do the individual categories first. So those 10 awards we will do first once we sit down. We'll then have 3-course dinner and some more drinks, and then we'll do the team awards and the organizational awards after dinner. So we'll kind of try and split it up a bit, so there's plenty of time for people to relax and catch up with people. So yeah, like I say, I'll reach out to people, but if you want to just make your whoever that will be in your company aware, they can either contact me directly or I'll be reaching out. So we'll give you guys first dibs so that you can all be there to enjoy. I think those that were last year will agree it was a good night, and we've got a good party afterwards as well. So yeah, with it being a Friday as well, we'll hopefully go on a bit later this year as well. So, and no restrictions hopefully. So yeah, we'll hopefully see you guys all there.
Yeah.
The next one is from Lee. So Christine, I'll let you answer this one. So how do you want the virtual tour to work for the contact center of the year? So how would you how can they go about doing that? Oh, you just unmute, Christine.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So Lee, there's a few ways you can do this, but we're not prescriptive on it, which is why we say you've got that creative license. In the past, what we've seen is somebody walking around with a camera on an iPhone, taking us around the office, introducing us to the different departments. Sometimes it's more of a sort of a picture board and a structure chart. All we're trying to achieve in that virtual tour is to get a feel for the business and what it is that you do. So entirely up to you how you actually structure that. And I wouldn't spend loads of time on it, but it's to give us that context about what your business is, what your primary role is, and how the contact centre fits within that part of the organisation.
All right, brilliant. Thank you, Christine.
No problem.
Thanks, Christine. So from the Greg's team, so how fleshed out do you need the timetable events to be when we see it on Friday? Christine, again, I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I'll take that one. We don't need great detail on that. Essentially, all we want to understand is who are the people we're going to be talking to and what are they talking to us about. So it might be, say your interview was 9 o'clock, it might be 9 till 10 virtual tour, 10 till 11 presentation on results and the impact. It doesn't need to be great detail. It's just so that we know how many different people are going to be joining the call and what the purpose of them being on the presentation or the virtual interview is.
Thanks, Christine. Just as well, from my perspective, the only other thing that is good to know is just who will be there. So if there's anyone who's not going to be in the office at the same time, just that we can make sure they've got the dial-in instructions as well. So, but it's not War and Peace. So, if things obviously change between now and then, it's just a really rough structure, just so the judges have a rough idea of kind of how the 2 hours is going to work. So Michelle from Virgin Money has said, obviously a key part of this morning has been highlighting the need for the nominees to stand out and show why they're different. Do the judges have any example of where someone's achieved this and what's been standout occasions for you? What have you seen from people in the past? So Julie, I don't know if you want to go with this one to start.
Yeah, I'll just click unmute. Hi everyone. Without giving any specifics, because obviously they're personal to each organisation that have entered, but the things that really stand out to us is where we understand that you understand the difference between yourselves and the contact centre down the road, so that you can evidence to us that you're going above and beyond what you would expect that your role is. So examples of great impact to a customer, where you've gone above and beyond for a customer and how customers have responded to that, or where some of your initiatives have gone above and beyond for employees to what we would expect to be the normal. So it's okay to say we have an inclusive culture, but we need to know how do you have an inclusive culture, or what impact does that have to your employees? It's great having all of these diversity groups, but does anybody join them? So we want to know how it has an impact to your customer, how your initiatives have an impact to your colleagues, or to your partners, or everybody that you're talking about in the organisation. We need to know what the impact is and what is above and beyond what we would expect that the contact centre next door is doing. So this is about best in class. So what is it that you're doing above and beyond what your neighbour's doing?
I think just to add to that as well, Bryony, you know, the points Julie made are really important. But some of the examples we're given, without giving any company names away, we've had sort of TikTok dancing, we've had where, particularly for the contact centre of the year, where the community is involved. We've had videos from charities that have benefited from some of the work that you've been doing that have been really impactful. We had one organisation who, bizarrely, because we always do the judging in September, October time, it was all Christmas themed, and there was a story that ran through that. It's not about the gimmicks, but they portrayed it really well, and it made it memorable and made it stand out. So just a couple of hints and tips there.
Thanks, Christine. I think as well, just something as simple as even just people have you know, got testimonies and quotes from colleagues and customers. You know, if they have people that they can't obviously have with them on the call, sometimes it's even just nice just to hear, you know, quotes from other people on how you've impacted them, whether that's colleagues or customer. So yeah, as Christine said, it's not about you know, a big sort of show and tell gimmick, but it's nice sometimes to have something just a little bit different, just to show that you've thought about something a bit more unique for your interview.
The testimonials from customers can be really powerful, and you know, give you an example, I also do some judging for the National Contact Centre Awards, and in May this year when we were judging them, one of the organisations played a testimonial from a customer that was Dame Judi Dench. So, you know, and her words were really heartfelt. And, you know, I'm not saying everybody's got a Judi Dench that you can, you know, roll out, but it made it memorable and it made it impactful. So again, it's just that creative bit about how you do this and bring it to life. But all we are essentially trying to understand is, what is it like to be in your contact centre?
I think just to finish off from me on that one is where you try and give a clear line of sight to your customer, for your colleagues on the front line, we are looking for a clear line of sight of what it's like to work in your contact centre. So bringing that to life for us in just the same way that you bring your customers to life for your front line.
Great, thank you. Doesn't seem to be any more questions come up yet. Oh, here we go. For the individual awards, is it just Q&A or is there a visual element as well? Nicola, I know you've done quite a lot with the
Yeah, the individual awards, you know, and mainly as I said, the 20 minutes, the interview that we have, which is a set of questions that we generally ask across the piece to all individuals. What I would say is just bring yourself to that, and your personality, and, you know, let yourself kind of be the visual element, you know, the emotion, how you feel about your role, that very much tells a great story to us when we're kind of going through the question set with you. So it's not that you have to necessarily put on a presentation or anything, because we do ask you specific questions during that part of the process.
Thanks, Nick. Just give it a couple more minutes and see if anybody does have any other questions. Obviously, you know, between now and when your interview is, and obviously when the winners are announced, we're all here to kind of support. So if you have any questions that kind of come out after this, or if you're preparing and you're not too sure, you all have my email. Feel free to give me an email, or if it's urgent, my work phone number is in my email signature, so just give me a call. And if I can't help, you know, I've got direct contact with all the judges, so we'll make sure that you kind of get the support that you need. So don't feel like this is your only chance to ask questions. If something kind of comes out after this and you're not sure, please do reach out to us. Julie, yeah, so I believe I think you, Julie, and there's one other category. We're just waiting on, so one of our core judging team has recently switched roles. So they're just settling in this week. So hopefully kind of by the end of this week, we'll have their availability moving forward. So for those two categories, but we'll give you plenty of time. Don't worry, it's not going to be in 2 days' time. We'll make sure there's kind of plenty of time for you to prepare. So by close of play this week, anyone who, for those 2 categories that hasn't got their interview time yet and dates, we'll make sure you've got that. So do we find out who nominated us and what they have said? Christine, just clarification on this one.
We can tell you who's nominated you. You then need to ask them if they are happy to share the nomination that they've submitted for you. But we can certainly tell you who it was that nominated you. Bridie's got all those details.
Yeah, so if anyone does want to know if it was a private nomination, yeah, feel free to email me. And as Christine says, I can let you know who that was, and then you can have that conversation with them directly. Hopefully we've kind of covered as much as people wanting to know. I'm sure, like I said, there might be individual questions that come out after this based on your individual interview. But yeah, the purpose of today was just to give you a bit more of an insight into what the next steps are and what you can expect. So I'm hoping that means the judges have done a great job in giving everyone details of what to expect, so there's no more questions. But like I say, we'll be in regular touch with all of the interviewees. Over the next 2 days, I'm planning on getting all the Zoom links out to everybody and sending that across. If you have got any issues with that, please just let me know ASAP, just because there's quite a lot of work goes into getting this all sorted. Just make sure as well, one thing, as Nicola says, sometimes we can have tech issues. Hopefully now, we're a couple of years into this more virtual world, but so you'll know what tech works and what doesn't. But if you do have any immediate issues with Zoom, I would recommend testing it, or please just let us know. But make sure you are somewhere that's got a really good internet connection. Hopefully you'll know what the situation with your company firewalls, but just making sure that you haven't got any firewalls that are going to block access to you being able to access Zoom on work laptops or in company settings, and camera, audio, just make sure it's all tested, things like that. But yeah, I think that's everything, but thank you all so much for joining. Like I say, I'll share this all out with everybody over the next day or so that you've got it. It'll be on our socials and our website as well. Any questions, just you know where we are. And yeah, we look forward to meeting you all, and then look forward to a great celebration on the night. So thanks everybody for your time, and we'll see you all soon.
Everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.